Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Knicks Cave. I'm Jan, the Knicks fan, your host, and let's get right into it. I, as you see, I started right off with a picture of, um, excuse me for a second, this reporter right here, Homer D. Sason. He reported some bad news that I really want to, I don't understand. Like, first, I want to, I'm, excuse me, I got up a little late, had a little technical difficulties. But I want to just give you an update on Kyle real quick. He's still injured. His camp, they would like to get him back next week, but reports are that he's not 100. But the update that I want to talk about is not really about his injury. And I know we only have 11 days left till the draft start. I still think he's going to get drafted. And what I'm about to talk about is going to be more about sabotage. That's why I have this reporter's picture up. He reported that a scout somewhere in Chicago reported that Kyle Sotto is not doing very well in his workouts. And again, I disagree because if he wasn't doing well in his workouts, we would have heard something from now. Like he worked out for the New York Knicks, um, the Magic, uh, Cleveland, and Atlanta Hawks. Matter of fact, that's where he sustained his injury working out for the Atlanta Hawks. But this reporter right here, Homer D. Sason, he came out saying he spoke to a scout who have ties with all 30 teams. But like I said, I still think it's a sabotage deal because if you think about Kyle Soto's career, even when he played in the NBL over in Australia, the coaches and the league, they kind of kept him on the bench. They didn't give him that many minutes. A lot of people want to talk about, his skill set, and I don't think so. I think it was more because they want to keep him over there. Right now, I think there's a lot of people in the NBL over there. They want Kyle Soto back in Australia because he makes a lot of money for them. I know Kyle Soto want to fulfill his dream of playing in the NBA, and I see him doing it. And the thing about it, when people talk about Kyle Soto's not ready for the NBA, I don't understand how they can say that because you have a player like Chet Holmgren. The man looked like a toothpick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he got a little shot and whatever, but Kyle Soto is, they say he's skinny, but he started out when he was younger, like around 190. I think he's up to 240 pounds. So that go to show you have room for growth. And once he get in the NBA, I think he's just going to take off. Go, Kyle, watching from Philippines. So, what y'all think? Like, do y'all think that there is some type of entity out there trying to keep Kyle from the NBA, wanting him to go back to the NBL, or these reports have some type of backup behind, or it's just because a lot of teams have been looking at Kyle. I'm saying once he got into the put his name into the draft, a lot of people didn't think, a lot of teams didn't know too much about him, but once he got into the draft, a lot of people start coming around. A lot of people just don't think that he's worth that first round pick. A lot of people want to try to get him in the second round. But I like, y'all can see my hat. I'm a New York Knicks fan, and I wish the Knicks would take that chance and go after Kyle Soto, to be honest with you. Um, I don't think nothing can go wrong. I think this would be a good pick for my team. But if Kyle was to get drafted, I think he'd be at a better fit with teams like Houston, maybe the Magic, Spurs, teams that not looking to win right now. I don't mean they don't want to win, but they won't be in so much of a rush to put so much pressure on Kyle. So when he come into the game, if he make a mistake, it won't be as bad if he was playing for the Lakers. I know a lot of people want him on the Lakers. I know a lot of y'all want him on the Lakers, but if he came to play for the Lakers, they would have him on the bench. He wouldn't get that much shine. Um, so I think, like I said, Houston, Orlando Magic will be a team that Kyle can shine on and just come out and do his thing. Honestly, like, just think about if he can go play Houston. I know he played against Jalen Green, but just think about them two players. They have a chemistry there because they know each other. But I think they can play well, especially that's a young team, and that whole team can just grow together. If you throw them with the Lakers, some people want them on the Warriors. I just think he'll be put on the bench and his talents will get wasted. I mean, people saying that Kyle will need 2, 3 years, and I doubt it. You know what I'm saying? Because the Europe, like the European League, people don't want to say here in America, but it's more physical than the NBA. The NBA got watered down. It's not like the 80s and the 90s. So Kyle could come in, he can have a finesse game. When he come in, he just got to have a coach that's going to believe in him. That's the only thing he need. He just need a real good support system once he get here in America and get into the league. Um, I don't really see the doubt. You know what I'm saying? They talk about he's one dimensional, and I don't see it because when you watch a lot of his highlight tapes, they show him just dunking and whatever. They don't show his post up moves. He have a variety of post up moves. The kid can do a lot of things, especially if you put him in the right situation. Um, I don't think he got to come in right in and be a starter right off the bat. But if you play him, let's say when the season start, a good 15 minutes to get him acclimated into what you're trying to do with the rest of the team. Then as the season go on, you start upping his minutes, and by the next season, he should be playing, or he should be battling for a starting position. But I just think a lot of Americans, to be honest with you, have a lot of bias towards European players, and not only European players, but Asian players. They just think that they can't compete. And when you think about Yao Ming and one of my favorites, because I'm a New York Knicks fan, Lynn Sanity went crazy. You see players like this, when they get their chance, they shine. All they need is that chance. And then Kyle coming to this league in the NBA and the Knicks, I'm hoping the Knicks take a chance on him, especially if he falls to the second round, because a lot of people have the Knicks going after Jaden Ivey. And I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to risk that 11th pick on Kai Soto with the New York Knicks. I don't know if the Knicks going to do it. I doubt the New York Knicks going to do it because the Knicks, the thing about the NBA teams, they look at these collegiate players and they think they're better than the European players. It's more about flash and because they have more notability here in America. But if they was, especially the Knicks was to bring in Kai Soto, I don't understand why they're not thinking about it from a business point of view. And in a couple of years, this kid would give your team, you welcome, my bro. You welcome, bro. In a couple of years, this kid would give this team or any team in the NBA a real strong, solid center. Because what people fail to realize, the players and the stars right now, they're getting old. So you bring a player like Kai Soto into your onto your team, within 2 or 3 years, he will be one of the dominant centers in the league. And that's how you got to look at him when you look at this kid. He's already 7'3", can hit the jump shot, mid range, 3-pointer. And what a lot of people sleep on is that he have an eye for passing. Like I think I have a video I'll show you in a few minutes where when players is cutting to the basket, he put that little and drop a dime right on you. And people is just sleeping on this kid. I'm not gonna lie, they just sleeping on this kid. And I don't understand why. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't understand why. Um his and the reporter I just had up, Homer D, he said he texted his agent, and he says agent and asked him about, is this true what the source said about Kai Soto not performing well and his workouts? And Joel, excuse me, cursed his ass out, and rightfully so, because like I said, I think there's some type of I'm not gonna say conspiracy, but it's something in going on to keep this kid draft stock down low. But at the same time, his draft stock is rising, because if you think about when the draft first started, a lot of people didn't even know who Kai Soto is. And then once things started, it just ballooned. You know what I'm saying? Like he went from not even being known to making Sports Illustrated 49th pick in their mock draft. And people started talking about him. You start seeing YouTube videos pop up more about him. And teams are watching these videos just as well as anybody else. So there is some type of feeling for Kai Soto in this NBA. Just teams are not willing to take the chance, because if they take a risk of their pick, they don't want to be like, oh, we told you so, which I think this kid would come and make any team better. You just have to be a Danny Ainge type manager. You know what I'm saying? Look how Danny Ainge put together Boston. I know he's not there anymore, but he basically put that team together. He went out and got Tatum when nobody thought Tatum would be the player that he would. Jaylen Brown. You got to have management that's willing to take the chance and go out, and you got to see talent. You got to look past what all the other critics are saying, because a lot of people that be on these talk shows, I'm not talking about YouTube, I'm talking about like ESPN and Yahoo and whatever, SNY Sports. If y'all know these outlets, they be talking, they be repeating the same. If one guy they come out and they respect and think this guy know everything, whatever he say, it just kind of follow down the line. It will probably have one or two players that kind of stand out, but everybody else just go basically with what this kid is saying, what this guy is saying, because nobody wants to be wrong. Everybody wants to be right. And then what that do, that trickle down to the average fan. And then the average fan, because they like to go on ESPN and all these other channels, and they like, oh, they don't hear about Kai Soto, and they like, who this guy? Because actually heard a lot of people say he can't shoot, and I'm like, what? Is you crazy? Are you crazy? This kid can shoot, and that's the misconception that I'm talking about. Like, it's almost like forced campaign. What fake news like about Kyle Soto? They just come out with fake news. They don't print all the facts. They don't mention what the man can do. They only mention what the man can't do, and that's the problem. They talking about what he can do, and when you go to the draft, even the guys that's gonna be top drafted in the top 5, there's a lot of things that they can't do as well. But there's a lot of things that Kyle Soto do better, even than some of them guys in the top 5. A lot of y'all won't agree with me, but I think so. First of all, he's taller than, let's say, Jabari Smith. Uh, his shooting percentage, if you look at this big man shooting in over 35, 36% from downtown. Um, I think he would mature much faster than Chet Holmgren. I think Holmgren will take a couple of more years to put on a decent body weight. He might try to use his finesse game, but I don't see Chet, unless Chet put a little more weight in, he's not going to be the dominant star they think he's going to be, because he's going to get pushed around. And like I started off in my video, Kai Soto at age 17 was like 190 pounds. Right now, he's 20 years old. He's 240, some change. He's going to get stronger, but I want him to stay in the 250 to, around 255, 240 something, so he can still keep his mobility. And I think that's one of his strongest assets. Peace and prosperity to you, my man D. So if this kid don't get drafted, I'm gonna be hurt first because I want the Knicks to take him, and New York Knicks management, they fall on pressure. I'm being honest. This is why the New York Knicks teams have been the way we've been, because they always want to go out and grab big names, either on in free agency or even in the draft. And we never get a pick where we can really get a big agent. We got lucky with Porzingis, and the Knicks should go out and get this kid, because he will be, I'm not saying Porzingis, but he will come in with that skill set. Because a lot of people didn't know who Porzingis was, and a lot of people who thought that Phil Jackson was crazy when he made that move. But he made that move and it paid off. It paid off. So, what y'all think? What do y'all think? Do y'all think that somebody over here is trying to sabotage my man? Because I really think this kid should be getting more headlines on our sports channels. And I don't think the reports should be coming out saying, because actually I'm not feeling bad, because it's only been one guy, and it's been since it came out of Chicago. And I have heard reports that Chicago do really like this kid. So I just think it's some type of, you know, Chicago doing something to keep his draft stock low, so they can hope they can grab him with one of the lower picks. Matter of fact, I think Chicago only have one pick, and that's the 18th pick. So they're probably they don't want to use the 18th pick, so they're probably trying to get the kid. If nobody draft him, they kind of swoop in there. But if nobody draft him, there's gonna be a lot of people swooping in to try to grab him on the team. This is why I say, don't matter, like, trust me, y'all don't have to worry. Kai Soto is going to be the firstborn Philippine player in the NBA. There's a lot of, like I said, misconception going around the kid, but that's just how it is right now around this time of year. Like, basketball is still politics. People don't understand, still politics. You want the player who you want, so you're going to go out, you're going to act like you're not paying attention, you're going to say this, you're going to do that. But when times come down to it, and you got that on that ball, you're on that clock, when the decision is going to be made, trust me, y'all going to see who get picked and who this and that. And when after the draft, you're going to hear some managers talking about, we really like the kid and this and that, blah, blah, blah. But I just don't understand why the kid's not getting the respect that he's supposed to be getting. That's just all I got to say. Um, I know I started a little late and I haven't been on that long, but I do have to go to work, and I did want to try to get a live show out for you and let y'all know what's going on with Kai Soto. For those that just came in, he's still working out. He's not 100%. He's not going to work out until next week. Well, they hope he'd be ready by next week. But honestly, I think they should sit the kid, because I know a lot of y'all might disagree, but I think he did enough. Honestly, if a team is really going to draft him, and especially the 4 teams that he did work out for, and when people say, "Oh, he worked out for this team or that team," trust me, other teams know what he did, because the scouts talk. You know what I'm saying? They've been in this league for a long time. They know one another. They seen tape. Trust me, he's 7'3". A lot of people want to say unicorn. He's more than a unicorn, because he's special. You know what I'm saying? He's one in a kind. Like he's saying where he's coming from, he's one in a kind from what he's doing. People want to say unicorn, but a unicorn, there was more than one unicorn. And it wasn't one of a kind. It was more. It was a what you say, a herd of unicorn at one time. I'm just trying to make a joke. I know I'm a little corny, but with that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here. I thank those who did come in to watch the show very much. I want y'all to stay healthy, stay safe. God bless, and peace.